Hi and welcome. I'm so glad that you are here with me. I'm gonna grab my notes. So my name is Elena Tercero and I am the owner and founder of Little Light Accounting, a CPA firm based out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. So I just thought that it would be really helpful for people to sort of hear about how you hire the right CPA. And most of the time, people and business owners think of CPAs just during tax time, but it's not just tax time, and that's something that you really want to look at. So I've got a few things that I really want to talk about and help you with. Number one, if you are looking for somebody that's specifically for taxes, that you make sure that they are registered with the IRS to be a tax preparer. That is really important because when they are doing your tax returns, they're preparing them on your behalf, and you want to make sure that they are registered with the IRS to be able to do that. It is called a personal tax identification number. So I myself have, the acronym is a PTIN. So as a individual, as a CPA, as a business owner, I need to make sure that when I am preparing somebody else's taxes, that I have this number, and at the bottom of your tax return, I will be your preparer, and my tax identification number will be on the bottom of your tax return. That will help the IRS to know that you didn't personally prepare these tax returns, but that somebody else did it on your behalf. Now, just a little side note that even if you are hiring somebody to prepare your taxes, it is important that you understand at a high level what makes up that tax return, because when the IRS, if the IRS were ever to come in and audit you, they will say, okay, yeah, I understand that this other person, whoever they may be, filed your tax return on your behalf, but ultimately it's your responsibility. And so that's another thing that you want to look for in a CPA, whether it's an accountant, a bookkeeper, somebody that's just doing your taxes, that they're willing to share information and knowledge with you, so that way when those taxes are being prepared, you understand them, and when you sign them and you submit them, or you sign them electronically, that you understand what's going into that tax return. So that actually brings me into my next point, which is personability. That this individual is willing and able to talk with you and speak with you about what is in that tax return in a way that you're going to understand it. Going through all of the expenses that are allowable and not allowable, they need to be able to help you understand why they aren't allowed. So, and that goes really into the communication style of the individual that you're working with. Can you understand them? Do they make sense? Are they talking in lingo and acronyms that you have no idea what they're talking about? If that's the case, that really isn't the person for you, because you're not understanding what it is they're trying to share with you. You really do also want to look for somebody that is, and again, this is my opinion, but you want to look for somebody that is a CPA. They are a certified public accountant. They have gone through the exams to be recognized for the skills that they have. That exam is a 4-part exam. It actually took me 3 years to pass. They equate the CPA exam to the bar exam. I will never sit for the bar exam, so I will never be able to personally say whether that is true or not, but that's the level of expertise that you have to have in order to pass it. Now, CPAs are licensed usually in the state that they reside. You can request that, as a CPA, you can request that you work in other states and have dual licensure, but you don't have to anymore. Now the IRS has kind of acknowledging CPAs and allowing CPAs to work across the United States. So that's really helpful for people that may not be in New Mexico that are looking for a CPA, because we can do things now virtually to help people everywhere. So, and then another thing that you want to look at is that they're available for you throughout the year. It's not just at the end of the year, come tax time, that they're there. They're going to take all your information, crunch the numbers, put it all together, and then spit out your tax return. Because as a business owner, I mentioned this earlier, but as a business owner, it is important for you to know what goes into that tax return. Now, your CPA is not going to be walking with you step by step every single day for you to be able to communicate with them, but you also want for your CPA, or if it's a bookkeeper, you want them to be able to communicate with you often. So that way you know what's going on. There's always new things that are coming out. I've talked in one of my previous Periscopes about a deduction that's allowable. if you're purchasing a vehicle specifically, you can deduct up to right now $25,000. The IRS, the government always waits, Congress always waits to the very end, sometimes not until December, to change that law so that way you can, I'm sorry that it's a poor connection, it may be mine, I don't know if anybody else is having the same problem. It kind of looks like some people have dropped out, so I may need to redo this Periscope for you, may need to rebroadcast. I'm going to keep going just so that way I can finish it up. If anybody is there, they can, and then like Steve said, you can catch it on the rebroadcast if it is still recording. Okay, good, thank you. So your connection is okay, perfect. So I'm going to keep going. You want to make sure that your CPA is available to you throughout the year. Like I was saying, that excuse me, that Section 179 deduction, right now we don't know if it's going to increase. Typically at the end of the year, Congress does enact that it increases. They've increased it up to $250,000. Sometimes they increase it up to $500,000. So not really knowing where that's going to land can be hard for tax strategy and tax planning. But if your accountant is there and is communicating with you often, once they know what Congress has enacted, they should let you know. So you want to make sure that they are communicating with you often and they're sharing information with you. They're sharing the knowledge that they have, because as a business owner, you're building, you're the one that's bringing in the revenue. You're the one that's making all of the expenditures. And you need to know how those expenses ultimately affect your tax return and ultimately affect your business. Now, I talked about in a previous Periscope setting up a budget that will help, but then even within those budgetary items, which ones can be used on your tax return, which ones maybe can't be used on your tax return, or which ones can be used over a certain time period. So all of that is really important for you to know. So I'll recap just real briefly. My name is Elena Tercero. I am the owner and founder of Little Light Accounting, a CPA firm based out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. You can visit my website, littlelightakcounting.com. I also have some free tax tips for you on the website. Let me grab the little sheet real quick. So you can go to bit.ly/LLA tax tips to get some more tips for you. And then as a part of my emails for you, I also provide other tax tips as time progresses. So today I'm talking specifically about CPAs and how to know how to hire the right one. So you want to look for CPAs that if they are going to do your taxes, that they are registered with the IRS and they have a preparer's tax identification number. Really important. That they are personable. They're sharing their knowledge with you. They're informative. They have a clear communication style. You can understand what they're saying. You can understand what it is they need from you. And I recommend that the individual that you're hiring to do your taxes or even to do your bookkeeping, that they are CPAs, because they are licensed, and that does help you as well. So that way they have just one step above in that education. And they're also available for you throughout the year. It's not just at the end of the year come tax time. You know, they're emailing you and coming and saying, okay, so we're ready. It's December 31st. You know, January 30th, go ahead and start bringing in all your information, and we'll get your taxes in and out. So really make sure that you're taking a look at some of those things. You know, and if you have something else that you're sort of wondering, or things that are kind of holding you back maybe from hiring somebody like myself, a CPA, for your business, I'd love to hear why and kind of what's holding you back, what scares you or worries you from hiring somebody. So if you want, go ahead and type in the comments, or if you're watching the rebroadcast, send me a tweet, you know, post it on my Twitter. My Twitter handle is the same as my Periscope, of course, Elena Tercero. So if you're not in here right now, you're watching the rebroadcast, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you did find value in this, and please let me know some of the things that possibly could be holding you back from hiring a CPA to help you with your business. And I will continue to share information with you as time goes on. I do have more tax tips for you. The next one I think I'm going to talk about is if you do have children, the benefits of hiring children for you in your business, and the sorts of things that they can help you with. So I'd like to ask, if you did find value in what I have had to share, please share with your followers. You can click on the little guy down below, swipe up if you are on the iPhone, or swipe right if you are on the Android, and share with your followers here on Periscope and then also on Twitter. And I will see you the next time. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.